Yeah. We really boxing. Who wanted the battle? Let's see.
Oh, we boxing? Yeah, we boxing. I need that belt like it ain't no other option. So we punching and weaving and blocking. Defeat ain't an option. Let them know. Shoot a video, put it on BVO. Let them know. Every time I punch, it's a heavy blow. BVO, bound to hit like bricks cause it was set in stone. Let them know. I ain't getting body, but I'ma hit this flow. Yeah, way more than a show. This is BVO. This how it's finna go. I'ma throw some jabs. Make them think my punch is weaker than I hook his ass. This the ring, not the kitchen, but I'ma cook his ass. Me and him, that's the pro versus the rookie class. All my life I had to fight, but I still love it. Me and BVO got moves that you can't steal from us. And these haters be throwing shots, but I don't feel nothing. I ain't gonna lie, they alright, but we a little rougher. Step up for the title and face your rival, this ain't no little tussle. Bet I be no bird, being chicken to get your feathers ruffled. Footwork, I'm dancing around my opponent like the Cupid shuffle. Good work, bodies hit the flow, that can't move a muscle. The upside is we ain't in the streets, shooting and shooting up. Catch me in the ring, sticking, moving and suited up. I know everybody can eat, but I ain't full enough. Oh, you said it's smoking some beef? I guess I'm pulling up. Oh, we boxing? Yeah, we boxing. I need that belt like it ain't no other option. So we punching and weaving and blocking. Defeat ain't an option. Let them know. Shoot a video, put it on BVO. Let them know. Every time I punch, it's a heavy blow. BVO, bound to hit like bricks cause it was set in stone. Let them know. I ain't getting body, but I'ma hit this flow. Yeah, way more than a show. This is BVO.
Alright, for our viewers who don't know, tell them who the original man is.
The original man is the Asiatic Black Man. He's the maker. He's the cream of planet Earth. He's father of civilization and God of this universe. Correct. And there's only one God.
Yo, what's up? What's up? What's up? It's your boy BVO Boxing, man. Salute, man. I got my guy, man, aka the King of Wakanda. I got my man T'Challa, aka Prize Fighter in the house. And of course, man, we got my other brother here, man. You know, the Puerto Rican Prince himself, D Free, man. What's going on with you, brother? Can y'all hear me?
I got you. I got a copy.
All right, cool. Salute to my brother Crush, my OG. And definitely salute to Aaron, always showing love in the chat. We waiting on Reggie. He told me he was getting himself together, so he's on his way up. But before we get the champion here, I got to say this, man. I appreciate all the support everybody's been showing, man, because tell you what, YouTube is not easy. It's one of them trying things or whatever, but I appreciate each and every one of you guys supporting the channel. Believe me, no matter how many subscribers we get, man, it means just as good when I get the old one or get a new one. Salute to my brother Piero showing love, because at the end of the day, this is a journey, man. You know, we are a few away. We're about 400 and I think it's 440 away from 3,000 subscribers in 15 months. So we grinding, y'all. We letting everybody know what we do here, and we got something special coming for y'all. Y'all gonna see your boy BBO in the white shirt with the tie on pretty soon. I got something real special for y'all. I'm about to get my Shannon Sharp on real quick, but we got something special.
Skip. He was about to say you just Skip.
Well, I like Skip more than I like Shannon. I don't know about you. What about you?
Hell no.
But before we get started, man, I gotta bring up some great news. I want to get an IBF full credit for reinstating my guy Alexander Usyk as the undisputed champion. They gave him some more time to make a fight with the winner of Herkovich versus Dubois. So the IBF, I just want to say, sending love to a first-class organization. But let me ask you guys this. What do you guys think about Bill Haney? We haven't had a chance to talk about this. What about you guys think about Bill Haney trying to steal Ryan Garcia's career? I was kind of interested in what you guys thought about that.
Wait, say that again?
What do you guys think about Bill Haney trying to ruin Ryan Garcia's career?
I don't think he's trying to ruin his career. I think that's a little too far. But they want they get back. But I mean, it should be in the ring. But if Devin feel like he was cheated, well, he was cheated. So Devin he feels like that. So it is what it is. He's doing whatever he can, I guess. A lot of you like it, some of you don't. So, but it is what it is.
I don't think he's trying to ruin his career. I think he wanted to make it known to everybody without a shadow of doubt that the only reason why Devin lost is because Ryan had took something. That I think that's the main focus of Bill Haney and Devin Haney's whole message in this whole fiasco. I think they wanna make it known the only reason why Devin lost was because Ryan took PEDs or well, I ain't gonna say he took PEDs. He had PEDs in the system. We still don't know if it was intentional or not. We still don't know if he's going to get punished or not. But that's what I think. That's their main focus is trying to say that's the only reason why Devin Haney lost.
Yeah, and I get that. I'm just kind of disgusted because Bill Haney do all this talking how he's from the street, he represents the streets, and I just don't understand how in the world does a so-called street guy go to the police and try to ruin someone's career and reputation, because we all know Ryan, it was a mistake. Ryan didn't do this on purpose. I mean, if he did, I'm sure he wouldn't have used, was it Ostarine? I'm sure he wouldn't have used that if he did it on purpose, but I think you should suspend the man. Oh yeah, that's prize fighter. They, we call him T'Challa, man. It's for him, it's black fighters and nobody. So that's what we call prize fighter T'Challa.
Whatever.
But I think no matter what, man, Ryan need to be suspended, man. And I think they should make an example out of Ryan. They should give him, I would say, 8-month suspension, maybe $2 to $5 million fine. I think that's what will be fair, in my personal opinion. What you guys think about that?
I mean, I think he should be suspended for 2 years, like they did Amir Khan, and give him a hefty fine.
Yeah,
I think. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, it all depends on what their finding is. If they found out that the supplement was tainted or whatever or contaminated, then I mean, I don't think it's going to be a hefty fine. If they don't find any evidence of the supplement that he took being contaminated, then I believe he's going to get fined for a significant amount of time. But I mean, whatever they decide is what they decide. I mean, they're not 100% across the board. Everybody don't get treated equally across the board. So we just gotta roll with the punches.
I mean, salute, man. Salute. We got the legend in the house, man. We got my brother, man, Reggie Sweet Johnson in the house. What's going on, legend? How you feeling, man?
Hey man, all is good, man. I hope everybody doing well, man. It's all good.
Oh yeah,
Yes,
we doing
indeed.
good, man. We doing good. We just talking about Ryan Garcia and how Devin Haney and them are trying to ruin this man's life. What you think about that, champ?
You mean pretty much with the fight and with him probably taking something to beat him. Hey man, I can only think about and remember the fight, and then for something like that to come out, man, and I'm sure they're gonna have to investigate that and see if all that stuff is true, man. But I mean, that was kind of weird that backdoored the fight.
Yeah, and my thing would be, I mean, I know my brother Prize and D Free wouldn't agree with this, but I think it's funny how the guy who's known for cheating is the guy trying to bust Ryan. What you think about that? I mean, I don't know about that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's pretty much what I'm saying. Yeah, all that a guy who's noted for that cheating and all that, man. It's just crazy, man. Instead of them guys just saying, at the end of the day, let's do a rematch. Let's do. We got to do. Let's do a rematch, and think about it. Those guys still gonna get paid. I mean, you win, you lose, especially fighting on that level. Those guys are pretty. They both great fighters, the champions. For something like that to happen in the ultimate sport of boxing in this day and time, man, it's kind of crazy, man. A lot of those guys should have learned from years ago when that first started happening. People getting called out for putting stuff in their system for fighting, and that's why when I speak to kids and people always let them know. I'm 57 in August 28th. I'll be 58 years old, man. I've never had a beer, nothing foreign in my life, not even a beer.
Wow.
And hey, the only time I got drunk, I got paid for it, that Roy Jones 1-2 punch.
So I know my brother D Free got a couple questions. Go ahead, D Free. I know you got a couple questions for the champ. Go ahead.
No, the question that I had, because I know you faced both of these individuals who became legends and great fighters as well as yourself. Who was the tougher between the two? I mean, I know between James Toney and Roy Jones. I mean, I know they had different styles, but who you felt was a more tougher fight when you got in the ring with those two guys?
Oh, man, I'll go ahead and answer that, man, but I already know you know the answer to that. Hey, I just told you, mentioned something about that Roy Jones 1-2 punch, but yeah, hey, man, that Roy Jones was the best of, I'm gonna use my era, our era during the time I was fighting. Roy Jones was the best. Uh, he also got a win over James Lightside Toney, and I was just with Toney at the Hall of Fame but 3 weeks ago. Yeah, man. Yeah, Roy was most definitely the best of our era. Yeah, Roy Jones was the best that I've faced. That's the only guy, and until this day, whenever I speak of the fight with me and Lightside James Toney, in my heart, that's a fight that I know I won.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And let me ask you this: when you get robbed like that, I mean, does that do anything to you mentally, or how did you shake that off, champ?
Well. This is, just keep in mind when I fought James Toney, I was the mandatory. I was number one by two of the sanctioning bodies. I was the mandatory to fight James Toney, and Michael Nunn was supposed to been fight me instead of him. And you know what happened with the Nunn fight? He came back and stopped Nunn, and that's why he fought me 6 weeks after the Michael Nunn fight.
Yeah.
So when I go back and think in retrospect, man, God is in control. Everything happened for a reason. And then fighting on that level, man, we had some great fighters. And think about this: when I won the middleweight title, I think I was rated like number 3 or 4. I think that's how much talent they had. Somebody who wasn't even one of the champions was rated higher than me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. I mean, we all know you from Houston, man. And when you think of Houston, I think about you. I think about Big George, even though Big George isn't from there originally, but he kind of made his life in there. What is it like being probably the second greatest or the best or the greatest fighter to come from your area, man? How does that feel?
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, because I tell people I'm the first guy from Houston to win a world title. I was born and reared here in Houston, Fifth Ward. As a matter of fact, I think George came here when he's like 12, 13, 14, something like that. But yeah. But I always tell people that I'm the first guy from Houston to win a world title, and of course George's name is gonna come up because people know that him and my dad grew up together in Fifth Ward.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So, and George is from Marshall, Texas, like you said, and but I still always speak on that and educate people with that all the time. That comes up all the time. But hey, man, George Muhammad Ali was my hero in and out the ring. George Foreman encouraged me, just knowing that he was even connected with Houston from where I came from, Fifth Ward. the Sugar Ray Robinsons, the Sugar Ray Leonards, the Roberto Durans, the Tommy Hearns, man, all those guys, man, they really encouraged me as a young kid who started the ultimate sport of boxing at age 12.
Mhm.
You know, back then we used to you was able to look at fights on ABC, and then the next thing you know, man, now you in a position you fighting on ABC. You know, it's just, hey man, boxing's been my life. Like Ali, I started at age 12 as well.
So, and when you talk about the Fifth Ward, man, all I've ever heard of the Fifth Ward in Houston is violence. So to come out of the Fifth Ward, man, you got to be a tough guy. How did you come out of such a dangerous environment? Because I hear the Fifth Ward is pretty, you know.
Yeah, man. I like to share this with you guys and all your followers, your all the boxing fans. If you go to YouTube and put Reggie Johnson, BIO, put the words all together, it'll tell my whole story in like what 5-6 minutes. It was all the pre-fight stuff for HBO, and it'll show my late mother, my late father, my late white daddy, like Mike Tyson. Me and him he had Gus, and I had the late Mr. James Carter, who was the head coach, boxing coach at the Salvation Army Boys Club, where I started boxing at 12. It also showed my late uncle, who took me to the Boys Club and started me to boxing. My uncle and his best friend Dennis Hitman Benjamin. Those guys, they should have made a lot of noise in boxing too. But you know, you can't fight on that level as a professional boxer and live the street life too. And they didn't make it. But you know, like I just told you, man, I'm 57. I'll be 58 August. I never had a beer in my life, and I ain't gonna lie to y'all, man. Sometimes I'll be watching these fights and looking at the weight class that I fought in. I'm like, man, I should come back and
I was
mess with
going
the
to
history.
ask you about that. How do you feel?
Yeah, oh, absolutely,
How
brother.
you feel about
Absolutely.
the
Oh,
middleweights? How do you feel about them now? Like the
man,
way the
hey,
middleweights is right now.
hey, they got some great fighters out there, man. But let me tell you something, man. In this day and time, especially right now, I think I can come back and tie one of my hands behind my back and whoop these guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's just, and that's not just knocking them out of beat. I mean, that's just me just tying one arm behind my back and whooping them with one arm. Just just out thinking and smarter than me. You know, the mindset, man. The boxing, hey man, you can be the strongest puncher, you can be the fastest puncher, but if you don't know where to land those punches, yeah, man, you just a fast guy. You just a hard guy. It's a lot more than that, man. Hey, man, boxing is a sport that when they say you got to bring your heart, your nuts and guts, man, boxing is that sport. It's the ultimate sport.
I want to ask you this, man, because a lot of people don't know this, but shout out to my favorite fighter, Jamel Charlo, man. I talk about him a lot, so my co-hosts give me a hard time about Jamel, but I know you grew up with his father. So what was it like growing up with his father, and who would have thought those two twin boys would have both become world champions? What do you think about that, what they've been able to do?
You know, when you think in retrospect, is that always comes up, and man, I remember the dad bringing them the twin boys to the gym with him.
Mm-hmm.
and so you think about fast forward, man, those little kids that he was pushing in there, running around, doing all the little crazy, making a noise at the gym. Man, those are two of the best fighters in the world, and knowing that they come from the area that I come from, Houston. Hey man, it's awesome, man, and hey man, that's why they say there's nothing better. There's no sport that could even come close to the ultimate sport of boxing when you think about it. And I think boxing was the oldest sport, started with bare knuckles.
Mm-hmm.
So
I want to ask you this: what did Katrina kind of do to Houston? Because I know for a fact there was like an influx of people from New Orleans coming to Houston. How did that change Houston overall?
Ooh, man. Well, a big change, man. I think we went up in numbers. As a matter of fact, my oldest son, his mother is from New Orleans. I spent a lot of time in Louisiana. Until this day, I tell people, even till this day, I tell people that there's no better food on planet Earth than Louisiana, man. That Cajun food is the best ever. Uh, And I can remember going there on the way there, and my favorite dessert when I do eat sweets is sweet potato pies. And I remember my ex-wife's uh, family, and what was crazy, the dad cooked better than the mom. They both can cook. But the dad, I like. I remember my ex-wife dad. I used to always clown with him. Ooh, man, this is good, man. I'm gonna put a wig on you. The hell with your daughter, man. I'm gonna marry you. Hey, man. Yeah, that Louisiana, man. That's ranked number one when it comes to food, man.
Yeah, and the reason I bring that up is because I think people don't realize how open hearted Houston was to people from New Orleans, and just you guys took them in like family. And enough has been said about Houston doing that, because that was huge what you guys did, because that couldn't have been easy for a community to get a couple thousand, tens of thousands of people who, you know, coming from nowhere with nothing, man. So I always give people from Houston credit for that, man. So what you guys did is second to none. And it's
Well,
funny you talk about. Go ahead, my bad.
no, I just forgot about this. And then that weekend, I fought in Louisiana, a pro fight. That's when I was coming back.
Mm-hmm.
I fought in Louisiana. I'm trying to think of the name of the town that had all the casinos, but it was a nice fight. As a
Baton
matter of
Rouge?
fact, no, it wasn't in Baton Rouge. I'm trying to think of it'll come to me. But check this out. Don't you know that Hurricane Katrina? I fought that weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Saturday I fought, and we all took off that morning, and then I think the Katrina hit that Monday. I think it was, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I had fought there that weekend, pro fight. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Go ahead, Prime. I got a couple more questions. Go ahead, Prime.
Excuse me. Yeah, go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Nah, go ahead. I was letting him cook. I was just listening. I just wanted to. He already pretty much answered what I wanted to say to him. I wanted to ask him about the middleweight division right now, and the state of it. So he pretty much cooked on that.
So when you see a Bud Crawford, a little bitty guy like that, going up to 154, or saying possibly saying he'll go to 160, wouldn't you be like kind of like salivating at a guy like that, a little bitty guy like that, going all the way up to 160? What you think?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that started with him doing that. A lot of fighters been doing that over the years. A lot of fighters, especially in my era, a lot of fighters then came up from. Look at Manny Pacquiao. Look at Manny Pacquiao. Didn't he win the world title at 118 or 120 something? Look at, he went all the way up.
Yeah. I think he had a little help though. He had a little help, champ.
Oh yeah, yeah. But I mean, he got whatever help he had. They got it done. Yeah.
I think what you said is funny because it's so true. But let me ask you just about some current stuff. Did you get a chance to watch Tyson Fury versus Usyk?
Yeah, well, I didn't watch the whole fight, but I saw all the highlights of it and the end of it, and yeah, that was man, the ultimate sport of boxing. Like I say, anything can happen, man. Anything can happen. I mean, I wasn't surprised when you fighting on that level. You fighting a world champion, fighting a guy that's on that level, being in a position to fight for a world title. Anything can happen. I mean, how did you guys respond to that? Was that a big surprise to y'all?
It was to me, because I just thought Tyson Fury was going to beat him to death, and to see him in there on like jello legs, almost get stopped. I kind of, for the first time, realized that maybe Tyson Fury isn't as good as I thought he was.
Well, sometimes it ain't about how good he is and how good he's not. Sometimes it's okay. What did you do to get ready for this fight. I mean, what's the life you living, man? It's so much come with any sport you're playing. You got to put the work in. Um, like I just told you guys, I'm 57. I'll be 58 in August. I never had nothing foreign in my body, and I was taught that as a kid. You know, don't put those. The late Mr. James Carter, who was like my white daddy, like me and Tyson got the same story. He had Gus, and I had the late Mr. James Carter. But that man, but he the head coach at the Salvation Army Boys Club, and the first day I put gloves on, he told me I could become champion of the world, and man, I just hung on to that and played the role I had to play, even as a little young kid. Think about it. I'm 16 years old. I'm traveling Sweden, Germany, Denmark, Japan, Bangkok, Thailand on the USA boxing team. Keep in mind, man, that's a short period of time if you really think about it. If I started boxing at 12, I'm 16. Yeah. I'm on the US team.
Yeah, that's the fact of how fast you got better and better. Let me ask you this,
absolutely.
I know this is crazy to say, but when you fought Roy, was it just he was just that naturally gifted? Because you was in the ring with him. Was he just that gifted?
Well, yeah. But see, people, man, it's so much history come with boxing. I remember when I got with Murad Muhammad and them, the promoters, they had me fly to Pensacola. I did a fight out there. I was training out there. I remember me and Roy sparred about 3 or 4 times. And then Roy stopped coming. I don't know what him and his dad was going through, but you know, we stopped boxing each other because, you know, it got back to me, and I know it ain't like it. I'm thinking the same thing, man. I'm gonna end up fighting this young man, and the Roy mindset was the same thing, and we both was right at the end of the day. You know, we became world champions in the same weight division, and we ended up fighting each other for all the belts.
Yeah.
So,
and when you were fighting a guy like Roy, that's that big, that great an athlete. Were you? I guess the best one I was wondering, did you kind of feel like, man, I got to bring my A game, or how did you feel going into the ring with a guy like him? Because I know
no. Well, I felt like I failed for all fights. I put in the work. Had great training camps. I had great sparring partners. My chief trainer, the late Manny Robles. Manny Robles was my chief trainer, who I met when I moved to California in '88 after I came back from South Africa. I went to South Africa during apartheid and fought that guy over there and stopped him in the I think they threw the towel in the 8th round and beat him. Came back, I wouldn't get no fights. And opportunity presented itself for me to go to California. I moved to California. That's when my career took off. I think the first 2 years I was in California, I was the busiest fighter in the world. They had the Great Western Forum, the old Lakers stadium. We used to have fighting out at the Forum, and then I was going to Vegas, which is like, 5-6 hours from there. Yeah. So I was the busiest fighter in the world. Those when I signed with the people in California, I was the busiest. I think I fought like 12, 13.
Yeah, it was like back to
12 or 13 times in 2 years. I fought that many times. Yeah.
So when you see fighters so inactive now, do you think that's why the sport doesn't look the same?
Oh, absolutely. You know that got something to do with it, because if you send a lot of fights and a lot of noted fighters fighting each other, the sport is moving good. I just, but think about it. You're right. Boxing have always it'll take off. You see a lot of good fights and go down. You don't hear for a little while, back and forth. And I remember back in the day when I was young, man, I don't care if it was two midgets fighting each other. If it's boxing, I'm gonna be there watching it. But now I can overlook some things and not watch some fights, get calls to go to fights or do do something boxing related. And don't get me wrong, I still love the ultimate sport of boxing. It's just that it's not first. Because when it was first, man, it was my life. I was able to help my community, help my family, my kids, my family. But it's not first. It's not that high right now with me.
So let me ask you this: Do you think Roy Jones was better than Oscar De La Hoya?
Of course. So if Oscar and Roy fought each other, you would pick Oscar. Yeah, I mean, you think Oscar have a chance of winning that fight?
I would think so.
You think
What you
so?
think, Oscar?
Yeah, well, you know,
Oscar De La Hoya, he was a bad boy, champ.
yeah, he
Hey,
bad
hey,
boy,
hey,
but
guess
pound for
what?
pound, he'll knock Oscar out.
Hey, check this out. Oscar was with the people that I was with. I remember him as a little kid when I moved to California. I just saw him at the Hall of Fame when I got inducted about 3 weeks ago
Yeah.
in California. I got inducted into the National Boxing Hall of Fame, and I hadn't seen him in a long time. And matter of fact, he jumped out of his seat and ran up on the stage where I was. Yeah, because I hadn't seen him in so long. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I think I could be wrong, champ. I think Oscar and Roy was right there as the best middleweights in my opinion. That's just my humble opinion. Because I
Oh
feel
yeah,
like
but
Oscar could do it all. He could bang, he could
oh
box.
no, Oscar was a whoo, he was a great fighter, man. And you know what? A lot of fighters you see fighting each other, would fight each other, could beat each other, but there's so much stuff you got to add into that, man. You got to add into a guy being able to fight on his terms. It's like James Toney to this day. That's a fight I know I won in my heart, and I fought on my terms. And Chato, my late chief trainer, and the team, they laid out a game plan that worked fast. I didn't take no punishment in that fight.
No, you didn't. I,
And
I, I
and
gotta I gotta ask you this, champ. Now this is a fighter that all of us here are big fans of. What do you think about Teofimo Lopez as a fighter?
that Lopez fighter is a good fighter, man.
Yeah.
Teofimo Lopez, that guy's a good fighter. But think about this here, man.
Hmm.
We see something in that young man. A lot of people, and that young man, and showed us a lot of stuff, and his name just came up. But until these fighters, until the best start fighting the best, we'll never know who is the
Yeah.
best.
Yeah, I think I agree with you, man, because I feel like Tio get ducked a lot, man. Whether it's Tank won't fight him, we all know about how Devin Haney didn't want to fight him. I feel like if Tio he get in there with anybody, Josh Taylor, Lomachenko, it's I just want to see it. I think he's a poor man's Floyd Mayweather. I think so.
Oh,
So a poor man.
absolutely. But you know what, man? I think we've come a long way. Fighters has come a long way, and realize we're not getting in there just this sport, this ultimate sport does not happen without us. And you got to look at it from the business part too, man. You want to do what's in your best interest, business wise too. You want to fight somebody in your weight division, or somebody that like we're talking about now. Uh, man, you want to get as much money as you can, because at the end of the day, no matter how much money you get, you're not making more than the Don Kings.
Yeah. Go ahead,
And
Plies. I
all
know
the
you
rest
had.
of the promoters. Not only Don King, all the
I was
promoters.
about to. No, I was gonna say, for the record, I don't feel that way about Teofimo Lopez the way
Oh,
BVO
here we
does.
go.
Me, prize fighter,
Oh,
personally, I think
Neither
he's just
do I.
he's pretty. He's okay. He's cool. I'm pretty sure my homie D Free, if he unmute his mic, he'll tell you the same thing. BVO's high on him. Me and the other guy,
Now
D Free, we're
Tio,
not
he's
so high
a
on
decent
Tio.
fighter,
He's
but
cool.
nah, I don't feel the same way BBO feel.
Exactly. Just
hey,
for the
hey,
record.
hey,
But go
hey,
ahead.
hey, 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 all what I'm trying to say is, we don't have to all feel the same about him, but we all talking about him. He's one of the faces of boxing. So just for him to be that, hey man, he's there. He's in there. He's one of the guys. And until these guys start fighting each other, and I'm gonna tell you guys what's slowing that down a lot. Fighters are getting smarter. They're getting smarter to the point they realizing you're only as strong as your team. And I ain't talking about the strict coach. I'm not talking about the boxing trainer. I'm talking about the business head, the businessman who's helping you handle the business, and advising you on how to handle the business. And that's one of the reasons why we don't see the best fighting the best. And you know what? And boxing fans, like I just was at the Hall of Fame, and I just
Hmm.
told them when I was up there speaking, I say, man, I really want to thank the boxing fans because they are the ones who really write our checks.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
see, and you make a good point because just like a Tio, he's like you, where anybody can get it. He went fought Lomachenko at like 23 years old. Next fights Josh Taylor. Then he fights Jermaine Ortiz. I mean, the dude is just doing his thing. But I want to ask you,
hey, but well, he didn't have to say it, but you can tell the way he talk. Anybody can get it if the business right?
right, for sure.
There you go. Yeah, anybody can get it if the business right. Yeah. Yeah.
So talking about new age fighters, man. What do you think about a guy like Tank Davis? He gets a lot of credit. He gets a lot of fans. So what do you think about Tank Davis as a fighter?
Well, Tank Davis only get a lot of attention because he's the face of boxing right now, man. He's one of those guys. You're gonna always have a handful of guys that's gonna stand out. And hey, man, I think he putting the work in. And hey, man, Tank Davis, he a bad man. I mean, hey, that dude. Hey, I know if I was fighting anywhere in this day and time or close to his weight class, I probably would cut a leg off to be in his weight class because that's the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to fight the best. Yeah, and one of the,
Go ahead. Sorry about that,
no,
Chip.
no, go ahead.
No, and I was saying it's another guy. He doesn't fight a lot. I like him. He's like Sean Porter reincarnated, Gary Anton Russell. Have you seen him? He's pretty good. He got a fight coming up too.
Oh no, I probably seen him before if I see him again. But like I said, man, boxing used to be first. If you would have asked me this here about 8, 10 years ago, I would know all these guys. But man, I'm so focused on just community, family, and all that stuff right now. And boxing is still in there, but it's not number one.
I feel you on that. I was feeling like that. I feel like into some good fights. I haven't completely abandoned it, but I understand where you're coming from because I be feeling like that at times. Like, man, I don't care. Like normally I would have been super excited for Tyson Fury or Usyk, but I didn't care. I didn't care if I saw it or not. I happened to see it, but I didn't care if I missed it. Now, like you said, 18 years ago, it wouldn't have been open for discussion. You know what I mean? I would
Oh,
have been watching
absolutely.
Lennox Lewis and whoever he was fighting or whoever was fighting at the time who was best. You know what I mean? That's what I would have been tuned into. But now, I'm kind of with you. It is what it is.
Yeah, he said that, Champ, but he one of those guys where he only likes black fighters. So if you ain't got
See, here's the thing. Let me don't set up Champ don't set me up for Champ like that. That's not
telling you
what
what
happens.
it is.
What it is that I root for the American fighters, and since they happen to be brothers, it's a problem. But when the Mexicans want to root for the Mexicans, it's cool. If the Puerto Ricans want to go Puerto Rican, it's cool. Nobody say nothing. But as soon as I want to root, so I'm an African American man. If I want to root for my guys from here, it's a problem.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, hey, man. Boy, that like I said, the ultimate sport of boxing, man. It's the first sport started with bare knuckles. Man, it's so much stuff come. It's so much stuff come with the boxing, man. Like where you guys at now? Hey, man. Hey, man. I want to see that brother win too, man. And then if it's somebody that I really know, if they Hispanic, white, black, or whatever they is, if it's somebody that I personally know that really communicate with. Somebody I've been in the gym with, I want to see that guy win. But I can understand the brother saying he want to see that man that got that complexion like him win.
That's it. That's
Hey, you think the white guy don't want to see the white guy win?
Right. Thank you. I'm glad you said that. Now, all the famous said that to you, BVO.
Hey, Chip, I don't think I seen a white boxer in I don't know when.
We about to see one get whooped in Philadelphia coming up, but Jerron is about to do them. So you gonna see one.
They got this kid. I don't know if you heard of him, Jerron Ennis, Champ, and they're saying
I heard the name before.
Yeah, he's okay, but they're trying to say he's up there with Roy Jones as far as talent. I mean, it's a stretch to say the least. It's a stretch. He a guy that you probably would have stopped him in 2-3 rounds if you fought him, Champ.
and that's another thing. That's why I say boxing is like, it's like go up and down. It depends on how many the weight divisions, how much talent is in that division. Boxing is, man, it's a up and down division. Think about when say for instance, like when Ali was fighting. Think about all those great fighters came during that time with Ali in that heavyweight division. You know, the Joe Frazier's, man, whew, it's just
Cleveland Williams, yeah.
yeah, it's such a big difference, man. And boxing, that's why I say it goes up and down, man. It'll come around. We have so many fighters in a weight division that are real good, and there's a lot of fights. And I know it's a business, and you got to approach it as a business on that level. But like I say, man, the boxing fans are the ones who really write our checks, and I don't know if you guys know about this, but they've been talking about trying to send boxing through the government, through that procedure, make sure it'll take better care of fighters, this and that. But the one thing with boxing, it's so much harder. You know why? Because boxing is a world sport. An NBA win a championship. Baseball, that's not, you're not a world champion. You're not playing people all over the world.
you wrote.
No, that's real talk though. You're not a world champion. You're a national champion. You might have somebody from a different country playing on that team, but they're not from America. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, boxing is a real world sport. It's like in soccer, boxing, the MMA stuff. People fighting people all over the world. You playing somebody all over the world. Hey man, as a young kid coming from Fifth Ward, Houston. When I was 16, let me see, I think I did Sweden, Germany, Denmark, Japan, and then I won the World Kings Cup tournament at 16 in Bangkok, Thailand.
Yeah, that had to be awesome out there.
But I'm 16 years old, man. I'm a young kid, and even in the JO nationals and stuff, I'm traveling all over the United States. Turned 16, had a job, grew up fast, got two sisters, my mother, my dad was on vacation. You know what that means, don't you?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Well, my dad was on vacation, so I grew up fast, man. And I never forget when I quit that job at Kroger's, which is the big grocery store. I don't know if y'all have the Kroger's where you at, but man, that day I quit that job because I got into it with the assistant manager, and I had put hands on him. And I'm 15, getting ready to turn 16, and I messed this guy up. This white guy, man, he just, the way he's handling people, he been doing it was a buildup. And I remember I left that dude laying there, blood everywhere, and I ran home. And I remember we had a meeting because the late Mr. James Carter, who was my boxing coach, went up there and used to talk to Mr. Callahan. That was the head manager. And I ended up coming back into work, but I'm still watching this guy. And I went to Mr. Callahan one time, got me and said, Mr. Callahan, oh, what's wrong? No, everything good. I need to talk to you. I told him, I said, thank you for letting me come back, but I can't work with this guy. I'm going to get myself in trouble. And don't you know, man, that was the longest walk home. I got home. I knocked on that door. My mother opened that door. She saw that look on my face, and she know I'm supposed to be. My mom said, "But what the heck? What you did?" My mother went off. She thought I had put my hands on that man again. I said, "No, Mom. I had to quit that job. I got to find another job. I can't work. I'm gonna get myself in trouble." Don't you know? My mama said, "Oh boy, I thought you'd put your hands on that man again." She said, "I got something for you." My mother said, "I got something for you." She went in the room, came back with all the mail. She went through the mail, gave me this mail. And she gave me the mail. I'm like, "Mama, why you open?" She said, "God damn it, boy, I'm your mama. Just read the mail." And man, I opened that mail and read it. It said, had my name on it. USA Boxing Team, Reggie Johnson, Sweden, Germany, Denmark, Japan. It was my first tour, my first thing on the USA Boxing Team. It was perfect timing.
That's amazing, man.
Yeah, that's
perfect timing, brother.
I got one of my guys, man. This brother's a true historian, man. My man, Boxing Scott, he wanted to ask you a couple of questions too, champ.
Okay, no problem. Let's go.
Go ahead, Boxing Scott.
Oh man, first off, pleasure. So I watched you on Willie D's platform. So there's a story that I'm not even adept to, and I could be going through the scrolls that you told about the judging in the James Toney fight. Something I didn't notice. You mind sharing that with the panel?
Oh yeah, brother. You go back and look at that fight, and you ain't got to look at the whole fight because you guys probably already seen the fight. But just go back and look at it, that last round, and then when the bell ring, look at his corner, look at my corner. But during that fight, I was watching that fight when I came home. I watched that whole fight, and I saw when I knocked out James Toney, that judge, and I'll never forget her name, Patricia German. She hit the like this here, boom. She was pissed that I knocked James Toney down. And she was one had me like, I think she had me losing the fight. But and then over the years, being at different boxing places with a lot of boxing people, I ran into James Toney and ran into his manager. But I've never knew what happened to that. I never saw that judge again. But you can tell when you're talking to somebody, when the way a person look at you, or the way a person talk to you, hey man, that's. Man, you know how many years that's been? You done went on. It's been so long. You done went on to go all the way up to heavyweight and beat one of the greatest heavyweight fighters of all time, Holyfield. But you still know the real deal. What happened between us? Because that was his second world title fight, and it was my first. And because Michael Nunn was supposed to have been fighting me, and they got a political buy, and he fought Toney, and he was beating Toney, and Toney came back and stopped him.
Yeah. Yeah.
So once again, like I tell you, man, the ultimate sport of boxing with that's just my story, man. You know how many stories on that level or go even deeper than that in the ultimate sport of boxing?
I could imagine. Go ahead, Scott. Go ahead. The floor is yours, man.
Man, and that's crazy. Was it something specific that you see? Because mind you, James Toney went up and fought Samuel Peters, and Samuel Peterson was a devastating puncher and still couldn't do what you did. Was it a combination of the game plan? Did you see a twitch in his muscles? Was it something that he was doing? What led up to the knockdown?
What led him up to the knockdown? I set him up and knocked him down.
More specific than that, though. Old school, you got to give me some game. I got to try that shit out when I go to the gym. What's more specific? Yeah. What is something you practice on?
Well, one of the things we practice on after watching his fights and stuff. The one thing we focus on was fighting on our terms. I didn't go out there and try to slug with James Toney. I went out there and outboxed and outsmarted James Toney.
Mm-hmm.
And like even now when we together around a crowd, we get to talking about the fight. Toney be like, oh God, come on, Richie, man. Oh, you was running. I'm like, God damn, Toney. That's what I was doing when I dropped you. I was running. You see what I'm saying? But hey man, James Lights Out Toney, hey man, this dude is, hey man, during that era the era that I came up in, those fighters, hey man, come on, man. Pernell, Sweet Pea Whitaker. Think about all those guys that was on the U.S. team that won the gold medals and went on to turn pro. Pernell Whitaker. Think about all those. Mark Breland, he won a world title. Mark Breland was noted better as an amateur than a pro, but he still won a world title. And Holyfield, Tyson, we all came up at the same time on the USA boxing team and fighting amateur around the same time.
Yeah, Mark Breland is one of those guys. When I seen him in the amateurs, you talk about, I thought he was going to be like Superman in the pros, and he just didn't have enough. I would say, I don't want to say it incorrect, but he just didn't seem like he had enough sand or grit to be what he should have been. Just in my humble opinion, because Mark had all the tools, man. Mark had all the tools. And speaking of that, when you said you fought, the thing I was wondering is, how was you able to take James's whole right hand away? That's the one thing that not many people were able to do because he did that shoulder roll. How did you take that right hand from him?
Well, I just had this discussion with somebody not too long ago. We was talking boxing at the boxing gym with the kids and everybody in that training. Most people think When that bell ring, you train with your, your head. You think it starts with your hands. Boxing don't, for me, boxing, and I was taught this as a young kid. Boxing, it don't start with your hands, bro. My focus ain't of course you got to hit somebody. It's all about punching, but it don't start with your hands. It start with your legs. And I was told as a young kid, they say, Reggie, you see them legs you use to position yourself to hit a man with. Them the same goddamn legs you use to get the hell out the way. But think about it, man. It's how you position yourself to hit, get out the way. That puts you in a position to hit and not get hit.
Yeah.
So it all starts with your leg. It all starts with your legs, man. You punch with your hands, but the fight starts with your legs. How you position yourself. If my legs don't walk me across that ring, I can't go over there and hit you.
Hey, the thing I will say is, I don't know how you was just like able to like. It seemed like James would always just miss you, man. I don't know what you was doing to me.
But it was my upper body movement. But it, like I said, it all starts with your legs. It's how you position yourself.
Yeah.
It's how you position yourself, man. And really, when you think about it, man, have you guys ever heard of Curtis Coates?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the people that I signed with when I turned pro at 17. I got $250,000. I got a brand new Riviera car. They paid my rent for 2 years, and they hired Curtis Coates to train me from Dallas, which is about 4.5, 5 hours from Houston. So he used to come here. I used to go to Dallas. We trained, but like I told you, man, and Curtis was an old school welterweight world champion. But hey, man, them old school trainers, man, and fighters, man, once think about how much what those guys had to work with, and look what we got to work with now.
Yeah,
I mean, from a business perspective, you know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Scholar, man. You got
you know what I'm seeing on right here. Simplicity, man. When you ask Reggie a question, he answered it right to the point. He ain't getting analytical, biblical, and it's one thing he talked about that he touched on that was the most important. He talked about the feet. Most old school gyms, like if you go to a gym and they're not teaching you feet first, walk out the front doors because they're gonna get you hurt.
Absolutely. You're right, brother. Hey, as a matter of fact, even when I go to the gyms there, if I show some of the fighters the leg stuff, how do you exercise and work your legs, you know how that thing running up the stairs and all that stuff, man, it all starts with your legs, man. You know, sometimes those youngsters and the kids get it, and sometimes they don't, and then over a period of time they got it. But hey, I know one thing: the first day my uncle took me to that gym at age 12, and Mr. Carter, hey man, I got that real quick about the legs. And hey, who was the best of our era when I fought? Roy Jones, right?
For sure.
As good as Roy is with his legs, even with him, how many times have Roy been knocked out or stopped?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
His legs was shot, man. He was
I've been knocked down about 4 or 5 times. I think the only fight I didn't get up and win was the Roy Jones, but every time I got knocked down, you know, before the Roy fight, that was it. James Toney been knocked down because I knocked him down. And I'm trying to think, have he been? But let me tell you something about Toney, though, man. What's so amazing about James Toney for him to think if Toney would have been more disciplined, you can tell Toney hey, come on, man. Look how Toney was looking at a lot of those fights, and he's still fighting like that. Think if he would have, I mean, I'm pretty sure he had I don't know if he had a strength coach and all that stuff. I had Tim Hallmark, the same guy who put all that muscle on Holyfield when I moved up in weight. That's who I got, Tim Hallmark. He's one of the greatest of all time with the strength, putting the weight on you and the weights and all that stuff.
So Reg, the first time I ever heard about Tim Hallmark was when Michael Spinks was fighting. Who was he fighting? He moved up to heavyweight to fight Larry Holmes, and they was doing all that. he got a good reputation in the sport of boxing, but I kind of think that's where boxing died also because they got so much to the physical that they neglected the leg stuff, the simple stuff that we learned, the X's and O's, to where they be like, well, I can't really go do my sparring today because I got to jump over this chair and drink these egg yolks and do all this other stuff. The strength and conditioning coach, the part became overplayed in the sport of boxing, in my personal opinion.
Well, I think you might be right on but it's I guess it's who you dealing with. But my whole thing is I did that strength stuff. I think 3 days out of a week. But boxing, hey man, I can go pick up 600 pounds. But when that bell rang, that don't mean nothing, bro.
That don't mean nothing, bro.
That don't mean nothing, bro.
No doubt.
That don't mean nothing. You can pick up 500-600 pounds, but what that's gonna do for you when that bell rang?
Nothing.
Nothing. If you don't know what to do with it. Yeah. And our whole thing was doing. I didn't really do lift no heavy weights. I was just doing with the weights and doing like stuff and doing so many like light weights where they get heavy, and then you put that down and take up and run up the stairs, boom, 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 then come back and do another one. That type, hey man, but that guy, hey man, that Tim Hallmark, and then what's that other guy out of New Orleans? I forgot his name. I think that's who Tim Hallmark kind of like followed. That was his guy with the weight stuff. He's training a lot of athletes and stuff in New Orleans. But man, hey man, that and that's the first time I had ever had a strength coach, man. When I fought Lamar Parks, I was just with Lamar Parks about 3 weeks ago. Here he was in Houston, and I hooked him up with a good friend of mine, and my cousin with some medical stuff. We're gonna get him taken care of too, man. Y'all know about Lamar Parks, right? Yeah, you guys know Lamar Parks?
No, I never heard of Lamar Parks.
Oh, hey, Lamar Parks was signed with Madison Square Garden, and when I won the world title, beat Steve Collins, he was my mentor. I had to fight him, and we fought here in Houston, Texas, at the Summit. Hey man, that guy was knocking everybody out. And I think I was world champion. And when me and him fought, I think I was like the 3-1. He was a 3-1 favorite to beat me. He was knocking everybody out. And I go look at that fight. It's on YouTube, man.
Yeah, y'all fought for the WBA.
Yeah, I had the WBA world title. Yeah. Look at that Lamar Parks fight. That whole fight, I beat him with my legs.
So was that the game plan going into the fight with Parks, to just use your legs?
Well, yeah, position myself, but fight on my terms. Yes, it starts with your legs. Yeah, yeah, and that's crazy, man. Whenever me and Parks talking, or we together, we get to talking boxing like we talking boxing now. He like, man, this and that. Yeah. I say, yeah, man, but you think I'm gonna go slug with you and you're better, you stronger, you punch harder, and I'm gonna slug with you? Why would I fight on your terms?
So I got a question, Mr. Johnson. Did you have the same game plan for James Toney that you had for him, for Parks?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing, man. Yeah, pretty much the same thing, man. And hey man, and Toney could crack, but we fought at 160. Man, hey, he's on. You go watch that Lamar Parks fight. Lamar Parks could crack, and plus he had fast hands. Lamar Parks had fast hands, and he could. Man, that dude could. He could crack. And if I was a gambler, man, I could have made a lot of money off that fight because I was world champion fighting that guy, and I think I was the 3-1 underdog or something like that.
Yeah, that'd have been some good money right there for sure.
Yeah.
100%.
But
I ask you this though, champ. When you see a guy like James Toney, and you seen him kind of eat his way out of greatness, what was that like watching that? Because I feel like he ate his way out of the divisions more than anything.
I don't think he ate his way out of greatness because we talking about it right now. That dude was great, going all the way up to heavyweight, beating Toney. But I think about this here: if that guy would have been disciplined, like if he would have had the mindset and been disciplined, like I was, think about what he would have did then.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Because
Yeah.
one thing I always heard you say is that you got the most out of your talent, and I agree with that. But I feel like when I look at James, man, it's like so much meat on the bone, man. Like he
Yeah.
left a lot because I don't think he ever took it serious like he should have. I don't know. I'm not saying he's not great, but I don't feel like he took it as serious as he should have.
Well, and that's another thing, man. Not only with Toney, with any fighter, even with myself. If you just see a fighter in there that you're watching on television or watching fighting, you don't know the life they live.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know. Like I told you, man. I'll be 58 August 28th. I never had nothing foreign in my body, not even a beer. And then I always correct people. I say, but I've been drunk one time. That damn Roy Jones 1-2 punch. And that's two different drunks. Now I got paid for that drunk though.
It's funny you say that, man, because when I think about what you done, man, especially for your community, I just want to ask you this, man. What was the thing that motivated you to do so much for Houston, man? Because like they can almost call you Mr. Houston, man.
Well, the thing is, man, when you the late Mr. James Carter, who was my white daddy, me and Tyson got the same story. He had Gus, I had the late Mr. James Carter. Then I had my uncle on them, and him and his best friend Dennis Benjamin. They the one started me to boxing at the age of 12. And those guys is like it's like I'm living this and I'm learning this as I grow up in boxing. Man, my uncle and them is man. These guys are so great boxing, but they still want to. Back then, it wasn't no heavy dope. It was like marijuana. They still want to smoke their marijuana, this and that, and they want this and that hang out. But I remember whenever we was going to fights, going to work out or something, they would always stop the car or let me go in the gym, and then they'll do their weed. Or they like kept me away from them when they were like hanging out just smoking their weed because yeah.
Hey, well,
Man,
let me ask you this real quick, champ. Um, what do you think about the politics of boxing in general, man? You really got some awful decisions, man, and to hear you be so jovial, laugh, and seem like you're in such a great place, man, when you've been like robbed, like in that ring, man. Like, how did the politics of boxing not get to you, man?
well, I'm not gonna say it didn't get to me because when it happened, man, it hurts, but you have to and I'm not gonna lie, man. I see when people get to a point when they go through stuff like that, they be like, "The hell with this, man. I ain't doing this no more." And I ain't gonna lie, man. Boxing was something that I loved. Uh, Not only did I love it, it was something that it helped me with my family. My like I told you, my dad was on vacation a lot, and I got twin sisters. Keep in mind, my mother had me also at age 14, so I grew up fast, man. I had a 14, 15, 16 with the boxing. I also had a job. Uh, um, Man, it like, hey, man, if it wasn't for the ultimate sport of boxing, even it it was ultimate, real ultimate back then when I was a kid growing up. Because think about it, I was doing something that I love to do, man.
Yeah. So
Yeah, the
let's
first
get
day I put gloves on, I knew what I wanted to accomplish and what I wanted to do, what I wanted to pursue.
and when you fought Parks and gave him his first loss, what was that like?
Oh! It was. Hey, man, back then, man, when you had that mindset, you in there, and I was the underdog too.
Yeah,
He's supposed to win. I think it was 3-1 or 2-1 favorite, but
it was
it's
3-1.
just.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
hey, man, he was signed with Madison Square Garden. He had those money people with him, and that name just it's just, hey, man, I just went in there and just gave it my all, and fought, and for like I told you, fought on my terms. I mean, and that's
Mhm.
another thing, man. A lot of these fighters that take a lot of punishment, and some guys are sluggers, man. That is in their best interest to slug with you, but you know, I was blessed by the best with that too. I was able to get aggressive when I had to, but you know, once again, man, it all started with your legs. I specialize in getting the hell out the way.
Yeah. I
And
like
speaking about
boxers
that,
that can move. My bad, BVO, but I like
no,
fighters that
go
use
ahead.
their legs and
Yeah.
move and
Yeah.
hit and not get hit. BVO more likes to rock them, sock them, come forward, the
No,
Mexican
don't
style
listen.
where they
Hey,
just walk
Champ,
right
don't listen to him,
to
man.
you. He wants you to walk right. He wants everybody to walk right to one another and just sit right there. I like fighters like Sweet Pea. I like Mayweather. I like Sugar Ray Leonard. I like guys that was like really elusive and really clever with their legs. That's the kind of style I like. But I can
And you
see
know
both
what?
sides for it.
That don't mean that it's all about the timing. You still have good legs, move and dance, but you know when to get aggressive. Get aggressive on your terms.
Yes.
Right.
And speaking about
No
that,
doubt.
Champ, what was it like? Because I know Parks had fast hands, man. What was
That's
it
what
like
I
with those
tell
fast
everybody.
hands,
Not
man?
only was that guy hit hard, he had fast hands. You're right, brother. You're right.
I mean, and did you realize that he was fading? Because I don't know if he was hurt in that fight, but I did see you was kind of doing like the slow bob a little bit. Did he hurt you at all, or what was it?
Well, that's another thing, man. You got to be a hell of an actor too when you're fighting,
Yeah,
because if somebody see that you hurt, that dude, hey man, I was in great shape, but he hit me with a couple of body shots that it didn't knock the wind out of me. But you know when you get hit and you feel that body shot, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. You try to, you know, that me going to Hollywood, moving to California, after all that stuff, I should have been an actor, man, because I did some great acting.
I remember watching that fight, and I remember asking my Uncle Brent. I said, "Why is he moving like that?" He said, "I think he got hurt, but you wouldn't have seen it by your face." He said,
Yeah.
"You got hurt."
Hey, I'm glad you wasn't in this corner because you seen it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
rest in peace, my Uncle Brent, man. That's what his channel's named after, man. That's what he said. He said, "Yeah, man, he moving like that because you had the little slow bob." He said, "Yeah, he must have got hurt." But the thing
Yeah.
I asked you, the thing I asked you this was, did you notice that he was fading, or you don't see that in the fight?
Oh
Did you
no,
notice,
you can
Park?
tell. I mean, yeah, you get even more aggressive if you see a guy hurt or he fading off. Yeah, you can see that, man. You can see that, and my whole thing, even with that fight, even in the late rounds, you see, it was times that I got real aggressive with him, and then it was time, because one thing about a guy, and Parks was fast. One thing about a guy who can know how to crack and punch and hit you. Hey man, all it takes is one punch if they catch you with the right punch. And that's
Yeah.
another thing I tell people all the time, man. I've been blessed by the best, man. I was 96-12 as an amateur, and I had
Mm.
52 pro fights, and I've never been knocked out or beat up.
Yeah, that in itself is amazing, man. But I heard about you fighting in Argentina, man. What was you out down there doing, getting all that money, man? In
Well, well,
Argentina.
well, well. You said that right, bro. And I should have got a lot more money, but it was business. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was business, and think about it. Like I got 4 political losses on my record out of my 7 losses, and 3 of them was in Argentina.
Mm-hmm.
Me and John David Jackson, we fought in 2 Americans fighting in Argentina. Think about that. But guess what? Because they trying to get him to come there, but so me and him fought there. And but John David didn't. He didn't. I think they ended up fighting each other, but he didn't go to Argentina.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
But let me ask you this. Now this fighter is probably one of the best fighters I've ever seen in a long time. What do you think about the great Canelo Alvarez, man? Because I think you would have kicked Canelo's ass, man. Because one thing I noticed about you, that punching on your arm stuff, you didn't let that happen. You didn't let people punch on you. So how would
Yeah,
you have fought a guy like Canelo?
I think they got a whole bunch of fighters that came up during my time that would have took care of Canelo. You come on, man. You don't think James Toney would have beat him? Roy Jones, I mean, those type of fighters. It's totally different. That's the boxing is like a up and down deal, man. And right now we got, you know, like I told you, I don't really follow boxing the way I used to. I don't. Back in the day, man, if it was two midgets fighting, boy, I'm gonna be there ringside. You know.
I try to tell my co-host that these fighters nowadays don't fight like the fighters back in the day. Um, but was there ever a fight that you wish you would have got that you wasn't able to get?
Oh, it was a whole bunch of fights. I remember one time I was in Atlantic City, and we was sitting there. I think we was there for some fights or something. I can't remember if it was a Hall of Fame. But God, what's the guy name that had Michael Spinks, the manager guy, promoter, the black guy. But anyway, he came. Yeah, he had dude that he be talking like Ali too. He come up there just talking to me. He just looking at me. I'm sitting down. We at the table, and then he step aside. Bernard Hopkins. He had Bernard Hopkins. Then Bernard Hopkins was standing behind him, and he's talking about me and trying to put that fight together with me and Hopkins. Yeah, man, what's that guy named? God, dog, man, I can't think of his name. But that guy, man, I'm trying to see is he still with us? But he had
his trainer. Is it Nasir Richardson? Is that his name?
No. This guy was like the promoter or something.
You're not talking about Don King, are you?
No. I know about Don King. Not Don.
I'm trying to think. You said a brother. I'm like.
Yeah, but this guy was he had Leon Spinks and all that stuff. When Leon, I was at the fight when Leon fought Tyson. I mean when Michael, Michael, huh?
Butch Lewis.
Butch Lewis, that's him. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Butch. There you go, Butch. Yeah, Butch. Yeah, I'll never forget that, man. And Butch Lewis stepped aside, and Bernard Hopkins was standing right behind him. That's when Bernard Hopkins was with him. And he's talking about putting that fight together. I'm like, hey, man, no problem, man. We two brothers, I say, when that bell rang, I can't look out for him. But before the bell rang, my lookout is for him, man. If we get the right money, both of us, hey, let's do it. Let's make it happen. And I tell all them guys, I say, man.
I just want to ask
hey, I was trying to say this here.
Go ahead.
Okay, let me tell you this real quick. I tell all them guys that when I got up there on that level, and all my contracts I had in there. If I get knocked out and y'all wake me up, we ain't at that goddamn bank. Y'all all fired. That's what I told my people.
Y'all fired. Hey, but going back to Canelo, because when we talk about Canelo, I know you came from one of the toughest times. I think Canelo would have fit right in. I think he would have been up there number 2 or 3 if he was back in that time. What do you think makes Canelo so special? Is it his IQ, or what do you think makes him so special?
Well, you know what? I'm not saying that he could have survived or did well, but when I look at Canelo fight, him coming up in our era, I'm not saying that he couldn't have still been on the top, but I mean, on one hand, but on the other hand, I'm just thinking, him in there with Bernard Hopkins, once again, like if I were to fight him, I'm not gonna fight him on his terms. I'm gonna box the hell out of him and then probably try to get him in the late rounds if I can. Yeah, but he like, but being able to stay on the grade.
Well, his upper body movement would that have given you any trouble? His upper body movement?
Who you talking about? His upper body movement?
Yeah, that's what Canelo's kind of known for, his upper body movement. You think would that have given you an issue at all?
I don't think that would have been a problem for me, because that's it probably would have been able who gonna use their upper body movement to, who gonna out feint each other and then punch on that thing, because
because I think what's underrated and something you've been alluding to is the fact that you have great feet, man. Not good feet, great feet. And I think that's one of the things that's missing in boxing, because I can't think of too many fighters that have great feet anymore. Maybe like a Inouye, or maybe Gary Russell Jr. had really good feet. Tank Davis. It's like good feet are really missing from the sport.
Oh man, look at Muhammad Ali. Look at Sugar Ray Leonard. Them guys with they what they did with their legs, man. It all started with your legs.
I gotta ask you this, man. I gotta ask you this, champ. How would it have been if you would have fought the marvelous one, Marvin Hagler? How would that fight have went? I think
Man,
you would have beat him. I think you
you
would have
think
beat him.
you think I feel the same way. I think I could have outsmarted, but hey man, that dude, Marvin Hagler is one of my heroes. Hey, that dude was a hell of a fighter, man. But look what Sugar Ray Leonard did. I would have played that same role like what Sugar Ray Leonard did.
You would have boxed the whole time like that?
Well, Sugar Ray Leonard beat the man with his legs.
That's what I'm saying. That take a lot of discipline, because the stuff that I heard Marvelous saying to him in the ring, that usually would have touched anybody else's ego. Somebody calling you a B, and somebody calling you a B, and all that crazy stuff in the ring.
Oh yeah. Hey man, but a lot of those fighters know, and some of them are crazy. They don't care, man. But that's like when them guys be talking to you like that. That's like throwing a jab or setting you up with a counter punch or something. But think about it, man. Even those guys, when they be talking like that leading up to the fight, at the end of the fight, them guys, what they do? Don't they go hug each other?
Yeah.
Yeah. They just trying to get into your head, man.
Yeah.
They trying to get into your head, man.
I just got a couple more questions before I let you go, champ.
Okay.
And my main question would be this, man. What would you say to the children that want to grow up and box? What would your advice to the children be?
Oh well, I would tell them. I say, well, man, I would first ask them what other sports have you already played? They basketball, football, baseball, soccer, or whatever. And I said, well, boxing is a little different, man. Boxing is a sport that you can't play. You can't play boxing. I always tell those kids that, and I say, man, this is a sport, man. I say one of the good things that would probably help you. You ain't got to depend on nobody else. Ain't nobody gonna pass you the ball. You ain't got to worry about that. This is all about you. So I mean, you write and pursue all the plays in boxing. You in control of the whole thing, man. You ain't got to worry about that quarterback throwing you the ball or you stopping that guy shooting a 3-pointer. No, it's all about you, man. Then when that bell rang, hey man, you the coach, you the everything, bro. When that bell rang, yeah.
And another one of my this is my second to last question. What was it like meeting Muhammad? Muhammad Ali, I hear people say he glowed when they seen him, because shout out to my man Tim Witherspoon. He said when he first seen him, he was in a Rolls Royce limo and he hopped out with a fur coat on. So what was it like meeting Muhammad? I gotta ask you, what was it like meeting Muhammad?
Man, hey man, when you meet your hero, that's on the level of meeting a beautiful young lady that you later on marry.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Ali, man, was a guy that when I started boxing and learned about Ali, man, everything was Muhammad Ali. You try to act like Ali. Man, it's as a matter of fact, man, that was one of the things that I'll always regret. I wasn't able to make it to his funeral. And I was at Muhammad Ali's mother's funeral.
Oh wow.
And a guy named, he's passed to, the judge, Lloyd Wells, who used to be with Ali all the time. He called me crying. I'm like, Judge, I can't. Hey, and then that's what Judge. Like, man, I said, Judge, hey, slow down, man. What's wrong? Oh, man, I gotta get there. Mama Bird. That's what I said. We called Ali mother, Mama Bird. She passed away. I said, Judge, don't worry about it, man. We'll take care of it. I'm gonna come over there. Give me a couple of days. I'm gonna come see you. And because he lived on the other side of town where I'm at, but I went to go see him, and I ended up going with him, man. Ali's mother's funeral. I remember Ali's brother picked us up from the airport, and we get there, and Ali was. I know he was hurt, but he was still Ali with his mother, passing. But Ali, as soon as he see he run up to you, start want to throw punches at you and stuff, and yeah, man.
So when you see them, so you say he was still himself. He was always joking. But did you get to do a face off? Did you face off with him at all? Because I heard he was famous for wanting to face off if he was a fighter. Was that true?
I don't never remember doing a face off, but I got some pictures of me and Ali, of me and him signing. And don't you know that Muhammad Ali tried to move here back in the day, try to move to Houston, and they wouldn't let him where he wanted to move at, and so he didn't move here. Mm-hmm. This was way back in the day. I was a little bitty kid. Yeah, Ali loved Houston, man. He tried to move here. Yeah.
Yeah, that famous picture with him with the records on his lap, that was in Houston with the pickup truck.
Yeah.
People don't realize that was in Houston. Go ahead, Squad. Yeah. We got my man Scholar back. Go ahead, Scholar.
Hey, it's funny you said that, Mr. Johnson. My great aunt has a picture book where Ali went to TSU, and she claimed that Ali loved Houston, and she said that Ali tried to date her. I'm like, man, Ali ain't trying to date you. He was gonna just do his thing, do his swerve, and get on down the road.
Hey! Y'all know Ali was one of the. Ali was one. He was the greatest.
Yeah.
Boxer, right?
Yeah.
Just like he was a real man. He was one of the greatest monkey junkies of all time too.
He did a monkey junkie.
Monkey junkie.
Hey, man, and hey, man, Ali, hey, man, Ali loved women too. Ali loved women. Yeah. Ali loved women, and and whenever I see a man that don't. If you see a beautiful, fine woman pass by, and if that man don't look at her a certain way, I'm gonna think his ass too loose. Man, you see that pretty woman just pass by? Yeah, ain't nothing wrong. Hey, God said Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve, brother. It's all right if you look at that fine woman.
He not playing for the right team, Mr. Johnson. He playing for the other team.
Yeah, he with that two. He with the two loot team. Yeah, man.
I heard Larry Holmes say that Muhammad Ali would come to training camp, and Larry Holmes would be telling him, "You gotta take it serious." And Muhammad Ali, shut up, you don't know shit about boxing. Said he had 7 of the baddest women that he'd ever seen in his entire life.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. But think about it. That ain't only Ali. That's Reggie Johnson. That's Sugar Ray Leonard, Sugar Ray Robinson, probably Joe Louis, and all them other guys that were way back then. That's it. Come on, man. Yeah.
Yo, Mr. Johnson, I got a question for you. Most fighters have their oh shit moment, what I call the oh shit moment, where they think about, maybe I should go get my CDL or go be a plumber. Some of them have it on the way up when they're younger, and some of them have it on their way out when they done made so much money. Did you ever have any of those moments in your career?
No, man. Like I told you, I had those moments when I started. I was boxing then. I had a job at Kroger's when I was real young, still in school and stuff, helping my mother. My dad was on vacation, locked up. You know what that mean? And yeah. And I got it's 3 of us. I have twin sisters, and they what 5-6 years younger than me. So I grew up fast, man. I was like the man of the house when I was a little kid, man. And like I told you, that day I came home and my mother quit that job, and then it was like perfect timing. And I got that letter from the USA boxing team, Sweden, Germany, Denmark, Japan. And I think it was like a month and a half. I had left and went to Colorado Springs. That's where the Olympic training center is. Went there, and man, it was, from that particular time, my whole life changed. And think about it, I was making more money. We was getting a check every 2 weeks there. So I was making more money than I was making at Kroger's, and I was doing what I love to do.
Yeah.
On a very high level, because going to different countries, fighting other countries and stuff like that. Yeah.
So go ahead. My bad. Go ahead.
So, Mr. Johnson, I got another question for you. So, we talked about strength and conditioning coaches, right? And how they came in. we have some of them that was good, in the beginning, like I said, how the break. But now we got these guys in here that have asterisks by their name. They be giving these fighters stuff that could be banned substances. If you was ever fighting and somebody took something against you, what would you want the punishment to be?
Oh yeah, man. It definitely would have to be a rematch because once again I win from that too because I'm making more money.
You were rematching, Mr. Johnson. What if they hit you with some shit that you just lost some rounds? You don't even remember what happened. You still would rematch them?
Yeah, but enough money will make you forget about all that. Yeah, man, it's business, man, and I'm laughing and joking about this here, man. But that, like I told you, bro, I ain't never had a beer in my life, and then to know that somebody, well, I do know of somebody who did do that when I fought him. I know they was on something, and I know this for a fact. And you know how I know this for a fact because this is the only world title fight on that level I had that when I finished, they didn't come in here and say, "Here, piss in the cup." They didn't come. They didn't come after the fight and give me the piss test.
Oh wow! I remember there was I cannot remember the guy's name, but Gary Russell Jr. was fighting somebody, and he said, "Man, that motherfucker's juicing." I can't remember who it was, but I think there should be something for like juicing. But I just ask you this. Mr. Johnson. When you talk about people using, PEDs, do you think PEDs is just so far gone and nothing they can do? Because I think they're gonna have to make an example of Ryan Garcia to kind of fix the problem. What do you think?
Yeah, I think you're right, man. They got to look into that because it's not. He ain't supposed to. It's something that's illegal. He ain't supposed to be doing it. But man, the way I looked at that back then, and even now, I don't care what a guy put in his system. You still can whoop his ass.
Yeah.
No, I'm serious because boxing ain't about how strong he is. It ain't about how fast he is. If you don't know what to do with it,
Yeah, for sure.
you
Mr.
see what I'm
Johnson,
saying? You still they got guys stronger that knocked out so many people, and then a guy get in there and give him a boxing lesson because what you understand when you fight on your terms, man. They know, bro. I'm gonna do what's in my best interest. I'm not gonna go in there and slug with you. That's crazy for me to go slug with you. No, I'm outbox you. I'm outsmart you. I'm a goddamn when you get me in the corner, I'm gonna grab you. I might even give you a kiss. Nigga, get off me. Yeah, you gotta be smart, man.
Mr. Johnson, let me tell you why I kind of gotta give you a little pushback on that. As great as you are, you and James Toney had a really, really close fight. If James Toney would have had some of the shit that Ryan Garcia was on, he might win the fight. Or when you hit him, he might not go down.
Well, see, hey man, people come there. Even then, I heard that was going on with him too.
Yeah,
Oh snap, James Toney!
Come on, man. You know,
I heard
bro.
about it at heavyweight. I didn't hear about it when he was with Bill Pop Miller. You giving some breaking news right now.
Hey man. Hey, bro. Hey man, like I told you, I ain't never had a beer before. I don't when like what we're talking about, that different stuff people take to make them what they supposed to do, make them stronger, faster. Man, I mean, you know how many guys then been on that stuff and been in there. If we can add up all the stuff, all them guys who got in there that was on that stuff, thought that was gonna help them, and still got their ass whooped or they got knocked out. Man, if we can put them numbers out and do that, you would be amazed, bro. Because that's why I love boxing, man. A guy can be lifting weights, have the muscles, y'all weigh the same, but this guy been on the weight, and you still can beat him. You can outsmart him. You can outbox him. You can take him to the late rounds and knock his ass out. Yeah.
See, when we hear you talk, Mr. Johnson, it's different because we got a guy now in Devin Haney. He wants to, sue the guy. He wants to, get the guy banned for life. He don't want to get it back. He don't want to run it back.
Oh, Devin Haney don't want to fight the guy back. I would want to fight the guy back and get a bigger payday.
Yeah, he don't want to fight him. Yeah, him and his team, they don't want to fight him. So I don't know.
So wait a minute. So what guy did he fight that was on? What's the guy name that he fought that was on? He say he on something?
Ryan Garcia.
They think he's on something. They said he tested something, but then they said his hair came back clean. I think it's a witch hunt, though, Mr. Johnson. It sounds like a witch hunt.
His A and B sample came back dirty, and he took a hair follicle sample,
and that came back clean.
Yeah, I mean, I watched that fight. That's right, Garcia. I just forgot. Okay, yeah, man. That's. Hey, man. Hey, if what you call was smart. Hey, and this is normally what they do too when stuff like that happen. Because I know they had some fights like that happen. They said they was on it, but they fought again, and they, and like I told you, man, I got one fight, big world title fight. After that fight was over, them people did not come in my dressing room and have me pissing no cup.
Yeah. Speaking of that, now I don't want nobody to jump on me. This is not BVO trying to cast aspersion against one of the greats. But I always heard that Roy was dirty. Do you think there's any truth to that?
That's the fight I'm talking about, brother. Hey, and you know that, brother. That's why you said that, brother.
Yeah. I didn't want to bring it up, but I know you were talking about.
No. Hey, but
I've heard that before. I've heard that before about when Roy fought people, there was no piss test. I've heard that before. That's the sad part.
But that's the only fight. That's the only fight I had that them people didn't come make me piss in the cup. And that fight was in Mississippi. Guess what? That fight was when that fight hit the thing. We signed everything. It was in Vegas, and they moved it to Mississippi.
That's crazy. What you think about all that, Scott? Did you hear those rumors too? I've heard that for a long time that Roy was dirty on the low. What you think about that, Scott?
I mean, Roy had popped dirty before.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he popped dirty before.
Yeah,
I didn't hear that. How did they keep that down? Do you know what fight it was?
It was late in his career. It wasn't during the early time. It was late in his career. I think he might have been at either light heavyweight or he might have just came back down from heavyweight. But I know it was late in his career.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I think it was 03 or 04, I believe. I can't remember offhand, but so that and it's so crazy to think that Roy was doing that and he was that gifted. But that's unfair. That's like Roger Clemens when he took steroids, or Barry Bonds. It's like, what the F are you doing? You got everything, and you still. And it's crazy because I heard that because they said Roy's stamina was unreal. That no human can have stamina like
that. No human can have stamina like that, but any human could have a hell of a chin, and some humans didn't have no chin. and I'm like when I fought there in Pensacola, that's when I was with Murad and Muhammad. I guess he was trying to get Roy too to sign with him, and they had me there training. And me and Roy sparred 3 days, and Roy kind of like quit coming to the gym. He didn't, we didn't spar no more. Because Roy said the same thing, and I agree with him. Nah, hell, why would I be sparring with him? Me and this guy gonna end up fighting each other somewhere, and guess what? We end up fighting each other. Yeah.
But I'm gonna give everybody a chance to ask their last question. I'm gonna start off with Prize and Freak. You got, and then I'm gonna let my man Scott go. You guys got any last questions for the champ?
I got one because I'm from Texas as well. You know what I mean? And I remember going to school and I was looking for a boxing gym, and that shit is dried up. That shit like it's like a myth now, boxing gyms, and then they want to charge you to sweat. When I told my cousin who boxed a long time ago that they was charging, he said, "Man, they charging you to sweat?" He couldn't believe it.
Yeah, but well, I mean, they charge you to sweat. What they do? They weigh your sweat.
He's speaking like metaphor, meaning like back in the day, he said that they would see if you were serious about boxing. What they would do is throw you in there hard and get the shit beat out of you, see if you're gonna show back up the next day.
Okay,
he said that's how you paid your dues. Now you have to pay a monthly fee of like $130 or $140 140 days. He's like, them poor kids didn't have that shit back in the day. He was like, what the hell going on with boxing nowadays?
You know, that's a good thing. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna do some research on some gyms and see what they charge kids and what they charge growing up. Cause they, right here in Houston, they got the Main Street Boxing Gym downtown. I was just there the other day. What 1, 2, 3, about 4 days ago. I was just there, and I hadn't been there in a long time. As a matter of fact, the guy who run that gym, well, some other people that came in, money people, but the guy, his dad. He the one, when I came back from South Africa and the people I was with wasn't giving me no fights, he the one hooked that whole thing up for me in California. And if I wouldn't have, I tell people all the time this story. Man, when I came back from South Africa, if I wouldn't have went to LA, I probably would have never got a chance to fight for a world title. I moved to Long Beach, California, man. Hung out with Snoop Dogg, was speaking at his high school and middle school and getting my hair cut and where the people hang out, the music stores and all that stuff. I was in Long Beach from '88 to like 2002.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. And the thing I'll say is, man, I appreciate you, man, and you don't get enough credit for what you do for the Fifth Ward, man. I know Big George get a lot of credit, you know, being under his shadow. But what you do for your community, man, I can't say enough, man. And I've heard about how you've been, you know, paying people's rent, buying whole Thanksgiving dinners and stuff, man. Hey, I can't say enough about it, and I appreciate you coming on the show, and I hope to have you again, man.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. We can always yeah. Hey, when they had those big fights, man, I would love to come on and just talk about those fights.
Yeah, but
we do that. We do that around here.
We got one where Tank is fighting Frank Martin. I'll call you on that one, man. I think that'll be a good fight.
Ain't that in
So
Texas, BVO?
that's that tall black guy. I just saw that, didn't I? On TV, I think the other day. That black guy, he's getting ready to fight. Huh? They going back and forth.
I'm talking about Tank Davis.
Yeah, I know Tank Davis.
Yeah, that's him. That's him. The one that's going back and
Tank
forth.
Davis and that guy, they was going back and forth with each other, talking trash.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. I forgot about that. Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I saw some of that last night.
Oh yeah, that press conference. Yeah. Tank is gonna beat him to death, though, champ. That's not even a good fight.
Boy, that Tank Davis is a bad dude, man. I be thinking to myself now, boy, what if him and the Floyd would have been the same time? They would have fought. Who you think would have won that fight?
I think Floyd would have knocked him out cold. Just to be honest with you.
That Floyd was smart, but bad blue, wasn't he? Smart, man. And that's another thing I want to share with you guys, man. His late uncle.
Yeah, Roger.
Yeah, we used to fight at the Great Western Forum. Yeah, me and him used to be on the same card sometime at the Great Western Forum in California. The old Lakers Stadium, that's where we used to fight at. They had fight night at the Forum. So yeah, I knew Roger from that. Yeah.
The Black Mamba, man, the first Black Mamba.
Yo, Reggie,
dude, man.
You know what things to tell me, Reg? I never got the privilege of interviewing or meeting him, Roger Mayweather. But they said Roger was a great trainer, but he was offensive minded because he had the power, and Floyd was more defensive minded because he didn't have the power, so he had to be defensively responsible. So they had that affected their training styles, their fighting styles.
Oh, and you know what? Just you saying that, yeah, that's true. You're right. Yeah, they on point with that, man. Cause, hey, man, one thing about Floyd, the name of the game is to hit and not get hit. But knowing that you're going to get hit, but you not get hit. The name of the game is hit and not get hit. The less punishment you take, hey, man. Well, hey, could you imagine going out there, having a couple of fights, some good fights, got about $50 million, but can't nobody understand what you're saying? Can't nobody? I mean, you can't turn around and look at nobody without turning your whole body. Think about that, man. That's crazy, man.
Yeah, I got the chance to see Big Daddy Bo, and to see him speaking that way, man, it breaks your heart, man.
Yeah, man. I did some charity stuff with Bo here in Houston. Yeah. And I remember I'm sitting there. One thing about Reggie Bo, boy, that dude there, man, he takes stuff too serious. Hey, so I leaned over to Bo. I say, Bo, I say, Bo, you know, I started out at 160, but if me and you would have fought at 68 or 75, or even if I would have went up to the heavyweight, I say, shit, Bo, I think I would have got you in about 3 or 4. Man, Bo went off. I say, Bo, you weigh damn near 400 pounds. How the hell me and you gonna fight each other? Everybody was laughing.
You
Yeah,
know what,
Bo.
Mr. Johnson? You know what it is though? Him and James Toney are 100% 24-hour fighters. You know, fighters are able to turn it on and turn it off. Like they
Yeah,
could be
yeah.
an animal inside the ring, but outside the ring they be nice. Them two guys,
Oh,
they
they
are
can't do it. They
yes.
can't do it. Hey, but I'm gonna tell you, I was just with Toney at the Hall of Fame when I got inducted about 2 weeks ago. But hey man, that's probably with other people. But whenever Toney see me, man, he always, you know, wait, boom, 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 boom. But you can still tell he's still thinking about our fight, man. You know how long ago that's been?
Yeah, that's
Ass
been a
whoopings
minute.
always happened yesterday in people's head if they was on the receiving end.
Well,
Hey,
and that's why the old guy told me this a long time ago. He said they got some things you never forget in life, bro. One of them is who ass you whooped and who whooped your ass. You never forget that.
hey, hey, but
Yeah,
you know,
true.
the funny thing about it, man, you came in here, man. You told us a bunch of good stuff, and I can't thank you enough, Mr. Johnson. Thank you so much, and I look forward to talking to you soon, man.
Oh, hey, well, listen to me, brother. I can't box no more, but I love talking about boxing. You know, yeah, anytime, man. You got me, no problem, brother. And I thank you guys for hosting me, man.
No
Oh,
problem.
thank you,
Appreciate
man.
you.
Appreciate you.
Okay,
You
y'all have a great day, man. Y'all can call me anytime, brother. All right.
take
Appreciate you,
care,
All right.
Mr.
man.
Johnson. Thank you.
Okay. All right.
All right, for our viewers who don't know, tell them who the original man is.
The original man is the Asiatic Black Man. He's the maker. He's the owner. He's the cream control my earth. He's father of civilization and God of this universe, Sarit. And there's only one God.
Yeah.